Welcome to today's quick win. Are you paralysed at the thought of getting your website built? I totally get you. I think this is some kind of rite of passage for business owners. For most people, the website journey simply stops you in your tracks. It sounds so simple, but it's not. And it sounds easy, but it's not. And this is because we're not web builders. However, there are a few things to consider if you are thinking about building your own website versus getting a professional to do it for you. Let's clear this all up for you. Before we dive into the simple steps of getting your website up and running, let's put it into context. Firstly, we can all agree your business needs an online presence. I know you know this. Your social media is your active presence and your website is your static but transactional presence. Both as important as each other, depending on your business. Today we are focusing on your website. Every business needs one. The choices surrounding this seemingly simple piece of your branding and business puzzle are endless, and this is what makes it difficult to move forward. If you're like me, you just stop and focus on other parts of your business and let the website just slide on by and get things done that you can get done in a reasonably short time. I totally get it. So let's make this website journey simple so you can get this important element up and running. No more searching Google, looking for templates, reading blogs, getting more confused with every step you try to take. Get yourself comfy as we dive into today's quick win. Let's do it. Are you ready to work less, stress less, and make more money? I bet you're tired of working really hard, putting in crazy hours, and still not getting the results you know you deserve. How about we swap constant overwhelm for ease and grace and take your business to the next level? Imagine having absolute certainty with every decision you make. There's a way you can achieve it all without losing yourself. I'm Deb Field, quick win coach, business boss, and keep it simple CEO. I've been successfully taking small, medium, and large businesses to the next level for decades. Want to learn how? Go grab your favourite cuppa. I'm about to share powerful quick wins you can apply today. Let's create business magic with your heart at the centre of everything you do. Did you know that great websites are a combination of three critical elements? Number one, information design. This is the design of your content, structured in a way to enable your customers to easily get the information they need. Have you ever been to a brick and mortar website without any address or opening hours? It's mind-blowing that this critical information is hidden amongst the multitude of pages on the website, if it's there at all. Next, number two, graphic appeal. Websites need to look put together, a little bit like ourselves. The colours need to work, the logo needs to be in the right place, and the overall graphic design needs to be consistent. Your branding will drive this. There is nothing worse than going through a website where some pages look like you've been moved to a different business. There has to be graphic flow and a consistent look and feel. Finally, number three, functionality. Everything should work intuitively based on typical user expectations. Links should work, pages should arrive fast, and the functionality should be friendly and obvious. The website should look as good on your mobile as your desktop and be programmed well so that everything works smoothly for the customer. So, for example, if you engage a graphic designer to build your website, you may end up with a website that looks pretty but lacks functionality or frustrates the customer due to poor information design. Alternatively, you may get a really good programmer who creates an incredibly functional website, but it lacks compelling graphics and engagement. See what I mean? They all have to work together. And without these three components, your customers will have a poor experience. They'll likely leave your website frustrated, possibly way too early, and maybe never return. Today we explore whether you should build your own website or get a professional to do it. Although this appears to be a financial choice, you might be surprised to find out there is a little more to this decision than what first meets the eye. Let me say this. If you have no technical skills at all, simply make the decision to get a professional to create and maintain your website. However, if you have some technical capability, the options to you are far greater. Regardless, stick around because if you do engage a professional, you need to know the following information to navigate this pathway effectively. Now, previous to me building my website, I had no HTML programming capability at all. I do have some technical experience, but the web world was way outside my scope of knowledge and skills. But after watching friends waiting for so long for their websites, having increasing costs due to additional wants and needs, ending up with but ugly websites, just quietly, and then not being able to make any future changes, I decided to bite the bullet and learn how to create my own website. Call me crazy. The good news is there are so many web building applications out there these days that are simple tools that help you create and manage your own website. You can pick a design, add features, and make it look the way you want without needing to know a lot about web-based technology. Plus, there's a lot of guides and forums and things like that if you get stuck. I figured I would give it a go because I did not want to be constrained in the future by having to ask someone else to make changes that I think I could make. Of course, I have my fingers crossed all the time while making this decision to do it myself. Was it simple? Kinda. Was it easy? Kinda. Did I learn a lot? Oh, yes. I learned that web building is an art form and that I was a beginner in this field. However, don't let this put you off. It came down to time, cost and quality for me. I had some time, so I decided to save the money and give it a go. I wanted it to look a certain way. However, what I discovered was that I needed to be very clear on what I wanted it to look like, feel like and contain. I.e., I needed to be clear on the information the website needed to contain before I even chose a template to start the work. This was the most time-consuming part of the journey. I got so wrapped up in which template will I use, which theme is the best one to use. Oh my goodness, there is such a plethora available online. To help me gather my thoughts, I built a mock-up on Canva. This helped me visualize the website before it was even built. I leveraged ideas from websites I liked and took inspiration from the different templates and themes out in the market. And overall, creating a website took way longer than I thought it would. It took ages, not because of the design and not because of the building. I had to think about what I wanted on the website, and that changed partway through the build. In fact, it changed all the way through the build. So I found that interesting, and I kind of thought about, well, if I was going to a freelancer or a professional, this would have been a back and forth for ages. So I was kind of happy that I was doing it on my own. I could fix up those little mistakes and sort of make the changes as I moved forward with the business. You could say I was building the plane before I was ready to fly. Now, this would have happened if I outsourced, as I said, so don't let it put you off. Your outsourcers need to know what you will be doing on your website, what information you need, the look and feel, and the numbers of pages. Oh yes, that old thing. How many pages do you want? Well, how would I know is the answer. I can tell you now, nobody knows how many pages their website will have in the early days of their business. You could just basically roll the dice. So here's my thinking. If you are getting your business up and running, a simple landing page is all you need. Just make sure you have the information on that landing page that your customers are looking for. Keeping things simple will help a lot if you are building your website yourself. As you grow, your website can grow. I think it's like an evolving journey, one that happens whether you build it or not. And it's not always smooth sailing. Throughout the build of my website, I did hit a couple of tricky situations. These were things I wanted in the website that the template simply couldn't do. Here is where I say, get a good template, don't skimp on the template. And you do pay for them, and they're worthwhile. If you pay for it, you'll get what you pay for. So instead of battling with technology, because I'd be the ultimate loser, I reached out on Fiverr and got the fix done for $80 and delivered within 24 hours. That was awesome because I was mucking around with it for so long. So absolutely get people in to help you. Oh, and also on the forums online, you can put out a problem that you're experiencing, and the beautiful people who are into that web world will come back to you and give you the answer. It's actually really good. I now have full control of my website. I can add what I need when I need it. I can change it on the run. I can add pages, etc. as I need them. And I don't have to spend a cent or wait for anyone else to do it. I'm a little like that. I like to get things done in the moment and not wait for others. So, that's one good benefit of doing it yourself. So here's a little story about a friend of mine who, over coffee, we were talking about, our businesses and what we're doing. And he shared with me how he had some amazing support overseas. He had virtual assistants helping him with a lot of his business. One of the things that they were doing for him was setting up his website. And I asked him a quick question. I said, hey, tell me about, who has access? Who's got the passwords? Where's it all set up? Where's the hosting? What happens if your VA leaves, etc.? And the look on my friend's face was like, oh, you know what? I haven't thought of that. And I said, look, there's a major risk if this is your online hub for your customers to transact, and you've got a VA who you've personally never met, who has the logon ID and the password. So my friend didn't have the logon ID. He didn't have the password. It was all with the VA. And I said, where is it hosted? If things go awry, where is it hosted? And he said, I've got no idea. And I said, your task tomorrow is to find out where it's being hosted, how much it's costing you, what the actual hosting capability, includes, your user ID and your password, because you have a real security issue here that you could lose complete control of your website and it could go down and you would have no way of getting that back ever. And he had a great business where he was doing lots of corporate gigs and transacting through there, and what an opening. So be really mindful that if you do outsource the work to someone, make sure you are in control of knowing where things are, how much it's costing, what does the package include. Definitely have access, not just access, control of the passwords and the user ID. Make sure your hands are wrapped right around that. It's a really good lesson to learn. So let's tackle the decision for you to build your website, or get a professional to build it for you, or to do a hybrid model where you do some of the work yourself and get a freelancer to help when needed. Pros and cons coming up, people. As I've said before, cost, time and quality are really important. First, let's look at the costs. A website is not a small investment for most solo entrepreneurs. However, it's good to know that regardless of the approach you take, you will always have to pay for the following. You have to pay for a domain name, and this is the web URL name, which is usually the same as your business name. They're not expensive. $20 a year is probably the average price, or less. And then you have hostings, which is where your website will be managed. Think of it as the land that your house sits on. And this is anywhere from $5 to $300 a month, depending on the level of security, the speed with which you need, and the services from the hosting company, such as backups, etc. Hosting, there's one of your expenses right there. Next is your website template. Now, this will be a one-off, and these are prefab templates created to perform well, look good, and have appropriate information design. Think of this as like a paint by numbers approach. You don't need to be an artist, you just need to be able to paint. So the design and build is where you can decide on DIY or professional support. Show me the money. So the cheapest is a DIY, of course, using a template-based application such as WordPress, Wix, Squarespace, etc. These are your cheapest options. What you save in money, though, you will spend in time. However, if you have the time, I believe it is invaluable learning these capabilities. You will be in full control of your website and not be governed by web builders' time and costs. Next, you have the freelance web designer. Now, a basic website will cost between about $500 and $2,500. Anything custom will cost a lot more. The tricky thing is, when you are getting a website built, you need to come up with all the information, knowing where it goes, what's it to say, all the images, the logos, the branding decisions, the menus, the look and feel, etc., etc., etc. The list goes on. You're pretty much needing to provide everything to the web guy before he can kick off. Me personally, I enjoy designing and creating content as I go. To come up with all the information up front is pretty darn hard, and this can hold you up for months, honestly. When you build your own, it is surprising how fluid your website design becomes as you start to create your business presence online. I think I would have driven my web designer mad if I had someone else doing this for me. Honestly, they would have killed me. However, if you make this choice, go online and look at freelance services like Fiverr and find yourself someone you resonate with. Have a look at all their referrals, have a look at their feedback, have a look at their stars and their ratings, and create a working relationship with someone. I used a freelancer for some of the work that was outside my capability. It was great, saved me heaps of time and frustration. Now, lastly, if you have the money to engage a web design agency, woohoo you. You're looking at between $2,000 and $10,000, which will include custom design, advanced features, and ongoing support. Look, let's have a get real conversation. If you don't know what your website is meant to be, look like, or act like, no matter who you engage, all of these decisions need to be made up front. This part is not easy. My recommendation is to determine why you need a website, what your customers want from your website, and how you will deliver it in a cohesive, well-branded online presence. Speak with your friends and network and ask them about their website journey. Find out the costs, the frustrations, the timeframes, etc. Go look at the options available to build this yourself. You might be surprised. And get that freelance email address so you can get issues sorted fast. I hope today's session has provided you with food for thought as you work towards your new website. Remember, your biggest takeaway from this episode should be do the thinking up front. Know what information you want and spoon feed them all the information, all the branding, all the graphics, and get it ready for your web builder up front. And if you're doing it yourself, you'll need all that anyway. Whatever you do, don't present a cheap and cheerful website to your customers, as they won't be customers for long. Be proud of your brand, display your business in all its glory, and set it up for your customers to interact and purchase easily. Now have fun on your website journey, strap your seatbelt on, as this ride is a doozy. I hope you loved today's episode and it provides value to you and your business. There are 2 quick things you can do to pay it forward. 1, share this episode with other women you know and love. And 2, take 30 seconds to leave a review on Apple Podcast. This will enable more women in business to receive this valuable information. Let's share the love. Finally, go to quickwinsforbusiness.com, get your free business checklist, and join our private Facebook community, where I'll be sharing additional quick win tools. Let's work together. Join me here next week with another exciting episode sharing more quick wins for your business. Have a great day.